Hey, welcome back. Hello, everybody. So today in this video, I want to talk about two concepts: delegate and data source. So they are really kind of have a equivalent status in iOS development, and so you can actually understand them as like parents of an object in our view controllers. So, for example, table views, picker views, and like even text views, they all have their delegate and probably text view doesn't have a data source, but probably. So yeah, so the functionality of a delegate is to tell the object what it should do when like some event happens, and the data source is just to tell the objects like what data it should present. And the reason I'm talking about them here is because, as you can see, we have a table view in the middle, and it's basically an orphan right now because it doesn't have any parents to tell it what it should do and also tell it what data it should present. So in order to assign it a delegate and a data source, we actually have to convert our current view controller here to be a subclass of UI table view delegate. So to do this, just add this line after this UI view controller. So UI table view. Table view delegates, and also add this UI table view data source. Okay, so after adding these two lines, Xcode will throw us some error because in order to like be a subclass of these two classes, we actually have to implement some methods stipulated by these two protocols. Basically, you can understand them either as protocol or an abstract superclass. Okay, so exactly what what methods we should implement to be a qualified delegate and data source. So actually, we can go back to our table view controller here, and so on the contrary, you can see here like this table view is not an orphan because it is embedded in a table view controller. So this class it basically already functions as a delegate and a data source for this table view here. And remember the methods we implemented in the past is like number of sections and number of rows in sections, and also cell for row adds. And also this is not important, but we'll use it. Yeah, so basically those are the essential three essential methods we will implement in our current view controller. So, and also before that, we have to actually assign this class as the delegate to this table view. So to do this, just type name of our table view and set its delegate to self. So this self here, remember it does not refer to this table view, but refer to this view controller class here. Okay, and then we can do the same thing to set its data source. Okay, good. So now let's actually implement those table view methods. So do mark here and call them table view methods. And the first thing is just number. I should like. Oh, okay. So number of sections, and well, as code is super smart, like it can kind of figure out what function you want to implement right now. So actually want to return 2 sections. So in the first section, we will put the user typing the name and the type. And in the second section, they can select the age. So now it's number of rows in the section. So let's see. Yeah, let's do it first statement here. So let's do an if statement here. So if if section. So remember it is 0 indexed. So if section go to 0, let's return 2 rows. And else, here actually we will do another if statement later because we want to do this expandable cell here. But now just return 1. Now let's return 2 actually. So the last method we need is just cell for row ads. Okay, nice. So Xcode will really just implement like autocomplete these for you. So yeah, so let's create a cell and it's like just routinely let's see. Yeah. So table view. So we're like creating a cell from like this table view. So dot deq reusable cell, and the index path is just this index path here. And the string, I remember the identifier should be something like this, but we can go back to storyboard to check first. It's kind of okay. So it's pretty hard to actually select the cell here because yeah, good. Great. I think they're the same, so we can go back. Okay. Now we can actually configure the text view and the picker views inside the cell. So first of all, let's see. I want to make the text view inside this cell to be like to have like 1 line at maximum. So we can do this by calling out the text to view. Okay, where is it? Sorry, yeah, we forgot to hardcast it to our customized cell type. So now we can access our members here. So this is just called text view. So oops. Why is this in first? Okay. And then we have to call it text container. And then the next step is let's see. Yeah. So next step is just call its maximum number of lines attribute and set it to 1. And also why is it not indented? Let me toggle this off first. I think it's just something because of the no, never mind. So next thing we want to actually set the line break style to be truncating at the tail. So it's the same thing on text container dot line break mode to be by truncating tail. Okay, nice. And then we actually want the pickerView to be hidden in our first, second, and third row. So because this is a more general case, so we will just set this pickerView to be hidden here right now. So did I just name it pickerView? Okay. Yeah, and call its hidden attribute and set it to true. Okay. Great. So last we can just return our cell here. No, and also also actually want to use this hide for row at. So for the first three, yeah, let's first condition on the section number first. So if index path dot section equal to 0, then we want the height to be 10. Otherwise, we will do another condition here because we want the first row in our second section to have the same height, but for the second row in our second section, we want it to be taller because there is actually 50, because there is a pickerView residing in it. So here else return. Oops, sorry, you have to spell return right first. Okay, return 100. Yeah, and well, actually you can do the same condition here for your cell. So here's not return integer anymore, but here we actually want our pickerView is hidden to be false, and also we actually want the we want the text view to be hidden. I want this attribute to be true. Great. And then we will fill in other configurations later. Yes. Let's actually see the results. Yeah, I think it's pretty fast this time. Although it's still compiling. Sorry, I should not click that. Wait. So what is it doing right now? Was it my fault, or having clicked that before it has done. Anyways, yeah, actually let us just fill in the configurations right now while it's doing something on its own. Yeah, okay. So in the first section, we actually want our table view to be our text view to be editable, because thus the user can do the input the value they want. So so we can do this by just setting the is editable attribute to be true here, and also we want to actually throw in some default value there, and yeah, we want the default value to have the color of gray. So we can call UI color here and just choose gray. And then we can do an if statement here. So if index path dot row equal to 0, then we want the default value to be let's copy this name, and then just a similar else statement here. Okay, and do the same thing for type. Okay, and also we want to set this text view here to be unscrollable, because a text view is it's usually a multi-line text container. So usually it will provide the user with a scrolling bar, but we want to disable that so that it will look like a text field, although it's not. So we will set this to false. Okay, so I think now we're good. Yeah, and here we actually want to set the text color to be black, and also want to set the text itself to be page, and then we want it to be editable, so we actually want this text view here to appear as a label. So we can make it false, and also we don't want the user to be able to select the text in the cell. So we will set the selectable attribute to be false too. Okay, so yeah, I think that's the basic setting here, and yeah, okay. Now let's actually see the results of our latest of our configuration from last time. So let's click this button, and yeah, great. So you can see text, and there's a row here which has basically double the size. But now we really cannot distinguish between section 1 and section 2 here, because we didn't set any footer or header for a section. So actually, in order to make some space between the sections, we have to call a method called, I think it's something like footer. So title, oh yeah, this one. Height for footer in section, and then we'll just return on 20 for all of the sections. So let's see. Yeah, okay. Still rebuilding. So while it's doing that, let's actually do some preparation for our expandable cell. So what we need for this functionality is to actually create a boolean here. So we need a variable called we can call it is. Let's see, what is a good name for it? So yeah, is okay. Let's just call it is pickerView opened. And it has a boolean type, and we can just assign a false default value to it. Yeah, and then we'll do some conditioning on this boolean here. Let's see our result. Okay, great. So now you can really see this little footer here, and so this name label, name text view here is actually editable. So we can delete the default tags and put in our own. And it's the same for type. And now the age is not selectable and not editable, just as we wish. And here there should be a pickerView, but since we haven't set any data source for it, so it's just blank. So yeah, pickerView, just as this table view here, it also needs a delegate and a data source. Yeah, great. So what was, oh yeah, and in order to finish this expandable cell functionality, we need to call another table view method, and the name for it is very descriptive, so it's called did select row at. So this is really a delegate method. It's telling this table view what should we do when a certain row at this index path is selected. And we really don't care about these two rows in the first section. We only care about this row because we want this pickerView here to be expanded only when we like toggle this cell here. So let's see, yeah, do the if statement. So if index path dot section equal to 1, and see, and index path dot row equal to 0. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. And now we actually want to like toggle this boolean value at the top. So yeah. So if it is already opened, we want to set it to false, and if it is false, we want to set it to true. Alright, so, and then as I have already mentioned, here in the number of rows in section method, we actually want to condition on the boolean value. So if it's so if it is opened, we want to return 2. Otherwise, we really only need one row in our second section. Okay, so I think we're good here. Yeah, and also we actually need to reload our section here, because like the return the number of rows is like already determined when this table view is first loaded. So in order to change the number, we actually have to reload our second section in our table view. So to do this, we actually have to call our table view and use the reload section. Reload sections. So here it wants an index set, and here it wants an animation. So well, for the animation, we can just choose the style, and well, it's not auto completing, so I think we can just do automatic. And here we have to actually create an index set. So an index set in Xcode is actually just a set of integers. So let's see, index set, oops. And can I initialize it with this one? No, but we should call in it here from oh yeah, so we can use this. So it's initializing the index set. It's just one integer. So basically it means in the set it only has one element. Okay, so now we are telling our table view to reload this, actually our second section, in order to actually toggle the number of rows in our second section. Okay, so I think that's basically everything we have to do. Alright, let's see, are there anything else? So while it's recompiling, actually let us just make our table view cell class here to be a qualified delegate and datasource for pickerView inside it. So to do this is like really similar as a table view. So add UI pickerView delegate and also UI pickerView datasource, and then and then we actually have to assign this class to our pickerView here. So yeah, it's really just the same thing. So pickerView dot delegate, go to self, and also pickerView dot datasource self, and also as usual we have to like conform to these two protocols in order to become a like qualified delegate. So yeah, actually let's take a look at the effect here first. So now we only have one row at first, and okay, so currently when we click on this cell, it doesn't have any effect because I forgot to add this line here. Yeah, so go back to cell for row add index path method, and go to the branch where we configure our first cell in our second section. We actually have to make this text view to be like how to say, to be like not user interactable. So yeah, so just call this is user interaction enabled attribute and set it to false. So the reason why we cannot select this cell here is because we already had this text view to occupy the entire region of our cell, and when we want to click on the cell itself, it's like blocking our user interaction. So when we disable this, our tab will be like just go through this text view and go to the cell itself at the bottom. So that should be good. And just in order for this app to be able to compile again, let's just adding some. Yeah, let's copy this mark here. Let's just add in those necessary methods for a pickerView. So I think they are like really similar to the methods we needed for table view. So the first method we really need is called number of components. So the number of components in a pickerView is actually the number of columns in it. So for example, if you have a date selector, you might have one column for a year, one column for a month, and one column for date, but now we are just selecting the age, so we really only need just one component. And then the next method is called number of rows in component. So usually I think the longest proper integer in this situation should be 20, I guess. Like probably there might be some exceptions, but we will just set 20 rows here, and then the last thing. Oh, well, actually, we have already like made our class qualified. We actually only need these two methods. But actually, just to set the content for it, we need to call the method title for row, and so actually we just want to display 0 at 0's row and 1 at first row, so we will just return the string of the row number. So and also we can set the height for the rows in this pickerView, but I don't think I would do it right now. Okay, so now let's actually, yeah. Now let's recompile and see the final result here. After stage, yeah. So you can see now it works, and okay. So for some reason, yeah, we can see we have 0 to 19 here, which is what we want. But so for some reason, when like this, when our pickerView is out, our like age label here just disappeared. So let me do a last adjustment to our table view. So my guess is when it's reloading the section, it will actually just hide our text view. So let's force this attribute to be false. So yeah, I think that's the only thing we need here. Okay, I think it's almost there. Okay, so let's see. Ah, good. Now it's able to be just stay there and do not move. Great. So that's so much for this video, and in next one I will start to like actually really configure these cells more carefully and teach you how to really pass the user's input in this cell back to our array in our backend models here. So yeah, see you in the next video.